and welcome back to Christmas right here on youtube.com/Wi-Fi Sheep with me, Tom. It's fantastic to have your company and thank you so much for choosing to share it with me right here on the channel. So in our first Christmas video, we took a look at Sony PlayStation. Mostly my Sony PlayStation 2, the Slimline edition, which I've had for a few years now, and I've really wanted to do some content for the channel and just never ever got round to it. So it was great to get the ball rolling and just have a look at a PlayStation and get it working with HDMI and have a look at a couple of the games and peripherals and things like that. Now, today we're going to focus on the PlayStation mouse. Yes, that's right. Some, but not all, Sony PlayStation games for both PS1 and PS2 did include mouse support for those very much click and point type adventure games. I've been collecting a few for both PS1 and PS2, so I thought today we'd have a deep dive and take a look at the world of click and point with the Sony PlayStation. So let's have a look at pointing devices. Now, the standard Sony PlayStation controller, 1 or 2, is pretty much the same controller, and it plugs in through a custom interface. This is before they used USB as standard. This is the old sort of first generation, second generation Sony controller system. But they also created the PlayStation mouse. And I don't actually have an official Sony one, but what I do have is one of the third party. This is a Mad Catz 2-button PlayStation compatible mouse. And technology of the time, it was a ball. So it wasn't a laser like we've come used to with mice. But you can see how it works. It needs a little bit of a clean actually. It's not too bad, but yeah, probably do a clean. It used to get grubby, used to get build up on the reels inside, but yeah. So the ball goes in there. That goes on top, and that gives you a 2-button mouse. And the connector for the mouse, well, it was exactly the same as the connector for the controller. So you'd literally plug your mouse in into your console as if it was player one. So, and that the right way around. There we go. Before we try this mouse out, however, have you tried out PCBWay, our sponsors here on Wi-Fi Sheep? Right now, it is the Christmas sale with 50% off until December the 31st. 2023. If you haven't done so already, do go and sign up for a free PCBWay account, and full details and links are in the description to this video. Alternatively, head over right now to PCBWay.com. Now, what about mouse-based software that could actually take advantage of the PlayStation mouse? Well, for PlayStation 1, I've been trying to pick up a couple of the games. There was only a few that ever actually utilised the PlayStation mouse. One of them was Railroad Tycoon 2, which I have a copy here. This is a PlayStation 1 game. Remember that PlayStation 2 is completely backward compatible with PlayStation 1. So this is Railroad Tycoon 2. And also the click and point adventure game Myst, which I could only get hold of as part of this charity compilation pack, but the disc is on there as Myst. So let's have a look at Myst to start with. So we better take out the Tomb Raider disc from last time. I wonder where that I got to. And let's have a look. There we go. Myst. Basically, this was 3 games in one, so Myst is just on a disc on its own. It's not a multi-disc game. So there we are. Pop that in. Now then, let's power up. Oh, that iconic opening. PlayStation 2 particularly was so well presented. Now it should read it as a PS1. There we are. There's the PlayStation 1 boot. I'll just see if we can click through. Sunsoft. 96 of this release. So Myst originally came out 93, I want to say. Started development in 91. It came out on the Macintosh in 93. And I've got myself, there we go, So I'm actually have a Macintosh style cursor called Browser, which was the sort of thumb clicking cursor, which is actually from the Mac. And here it is on the PlayStation. And I've got my mouse. Let's see if I can bring it on camera to show you. There we go. And yeah, it's not bad. So we'll go English. And there is the icon. It is an iconic opening for Myst if you're familiar with the game. It's also one of the very first to use this kind of in-depth video. Bearing in mind this is from the early 90s. This port to PlayStation is quite late in Myst's game life. And I've got to be honest with you, it's not the best port. It's also very slow. So here we are on Myst Island, which basically works on the premise of pre-rendered, almost like slides that you click through to sort of give the illusion of moving around an environment. But the game pace is really, really slow. It's an absolute classic game, and it was a pioneer of its time, so I'm not knocking Myst, but for the PlayStation age, bear in mind this is a PS1 game, it's very slow. You can hear the disc churning every time it has to load in a new graphic. So I don't know how well this game really did on PlayStation, in all honesty. Especially when the same year you had the first Tomb Raider that we played in the previous video, which, you know, was a much more sort of live action rendered 3D game, as opposed to Myst that is very, very slow and is more of a sort of thinking game, which is great for the sort of people, target market and audience that would have had a PC or Mac. Console ports, yeah, not sure. I mean, you can play this with the PlayStation controller. It is designed for the mouse. So what happens if I right click? Oh, I'll bring up the menu. There we go. We'll return to game. It's just slow. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I don't know how attractive this game would have been to the sort of 6 to 26-year-old kind of demographic that would have had the original PlayStation. Probably, yeah, probably not much. But that's just my opinion. If you actually had this game and actually liked it on the PlayStation, do let me know. But yeah, it slogs along. Okay, so Myst, not amazing. Let's take that out. And let's try something else. Maybe with a little bit more pace to it. That was also a mouse-supported game. And that was Railroad Tycoon. Or particularly Railroad Tycoon 2. Again, for PlayStation 1. Okay. Let's try this out, see how well we do. Mouse again working, but quite slow. Take to interactive. There we are, popped up software. Absolutely loved this game when I had it. I had it on Mac. PC and Mac versions were, you didn't get these cutscenes. Now, you can kind of see how and why this game lends itself to a kind of point and click type interface. Although, oh, you really do have to. Can I make that mouse a little bit more sensitive? Scrolling speed, mouse cursor speed. Thank you. There we go. That's better. That's better. Okay. That's better. Dragging the mouse. To create a new company. So I'm not particularly playing this particularly well, but track. Single track. And let's go. Let's go from London to Mainstow. There we are. There we go. We have to build some stations. So there's a little station. Medium station for London. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And can I add anything? No. Where was it? It's like a water tower, I think. Oh no, maybe you did in this version. Again, they cut some stuff out, which you, in the PC version, you had to run things like water towers and oh, I don't know. Okay, that's great. Right, bar train then. Iron Duke. There. Let's add two. Let's add a mail car. And there we go. Now the resolution on this wasn't amazing, it has to be said. But yeah, you get the idea basically of how this game would work on the basis of a PlayStation game that needed a click and point type interface. Okay, so we have discussed PlayStation 1 mouse-driven games. What about games for the PlayStation 2 that actually make use of the mouse? Well, amazingly, a lot of them don't actually use the original PlayStation mouse from the PS1 or the compatible, so you can take that out. Now, the PlayStation 2 mouse was actually USB driven. I don't actually have an official one, but what I have found out is that you can use pretty much any, more or less any generic PC mouse. This one from Asda, the British supermarket, formerly part of the Walmart group, does work quite well. Not all generic USB mice seem to be happy with the PlayStation, but this one I know does work. So, on the front, you've got these two USB ports. You can plug a mouse straight in there, just USB 1, nothing special. And we can have a go at attempting to use a normal PC USB mouse with a game for the PS2. Now, I have to stress, PS1 games that use mice don't work with the USB-based system on PlayStation 2. You have to have the PlayStation 1 mouse with its original PS1 type connector, even if you're using PS2 hardware. Now, games for the PS2 that actually used the USB PC mouse system are even rarer than titles on the PS1. I do, however, have one title that does use the mouse system, and it's this. Yes, that's right. It's a Microsoft property for the Sony PlayStation, Age of Empires 2. I got this for £1.99, again out of a charity shop, which is why I absolutely love the PlayStation platform, because you can pick up so many awesome games for next to nothing. So this Microsoft title, a port from PC, and I'll just prove to you how much I spent. Yes, it was £1.99 on the receipt. It's still got the manual and everything, even a registration card. Here it is, Age of Empires 2. Through Konami for this one, but it is a Microsoft game. And let's put that in. Oh, need to take Railroad Tycoon out. Forgot that. We'll put Age of Empires in. Okay, now, if I've got this right, no controllers plugged in, just the USB mouse. Let's see if this actually works. Probably one of the few times you're going to see a Microsoft logo on a game. This is literally the year before they did Xbox, so... Name. This is not great. Okay. S-H-E-E-P. That'll have to do. Is that correct? It's the best we're going to manage. Here we go then. Single player. Random map. Okay, you can hear the console. So we've got the units, and we can left and right click to send them off to do things. And I have to admit, for a port, this is very, very good. I remember at the time being impressed by just how much of the PC game, if you like, is actually in this port. Let's just build a house. New build a house. A couple more villagers. Let's get these trees down. Oh, they're not a villager, they're a scout. But you can see how, you know, it's a game that really would need to be mouse driven, because doing this on a controller, I had played this version with the controller, it's awkward. I'll be brutally honest with you, it's awkward. Click and point adventure games and strategic based games, all on the Sony PlayStation. Some absolutely fantastic ports there, especially the Age of Empires 2, which even I didn't realise there was a port for the PlayStation, and doesn't it play well? If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And maybe if you really enjoyed it, you might consider becoming a channel patron over at patreon.com/Wi-Fi Sheep, or alternatively stay right here on YouTube with channel members. Details are on the screen now. Prices start from 99p, and that will be converted into your local currency, or alternatively into US dollars. Here is all the amazing people that support me both via Patreon and via YouTube members, and have been doing so throughout the year. So all I can say is a huge thank you to each and every one of them. If I don't see you again, then have a fantastic holiday and a very happy new year to you for 2024. I will be back here real soon with more content as we go forward into the new year, right here on Wi-Fi Sheep. But until then, look after yourselves and bye for now.